There are still seats, it's just people are kind of getting sparse, but they're bringing some more in the back for you. And so we'll try to accommodate everyone so they have an opportunity to sit down. I'd like to thank you all for coming out again tonight. For those of you that were at the last meeting, we made a commitment that we'd be out in the next couple of weeks and share with you some of the information that we've got in our investigation. We have been actively investigating this site since we last left, and we've learned a number of things that we would like to share with you. I've also been hearing from many of you, so I would like to, at the end of this, well, not the end, but the second part of this meeting, hear a little bit more from you, and start, you know, that investigation process that I discussed, that all of you have a role to play, and many of you are fulfilling that role and fulfilling that obligation. You're communicating with me, and I'm learning. You're communicating better with each other, which I think is phenomenal. I think that's great. I'm seeing neighbors talking and sharing information, and sometimes the information gets a little out of hand, and it's our job to make sure that we get the facts out, share the information with you all properly, and continue to keep us focused on the problem. We've got the webpage up. Basically all it had was the announcement on here, and that was the www.cottonflatwater.com. We're going to start putting more information up that as people allow us, we're going to be able to put up some test results. We're going to work with the state and the information that they have. We're going to overlay our information over the state's because it is different. We're openly, with the permission of the people we're testing, sharing the information with the state. And the state, I was in discussions with the field team today, has extended the area. They're going to go a little bit further and a little bit further. We have confirmed chromium-6 at 239 parts on County Road 118. So it is that far south. When I left here, I kind of threw my net out to 120. We do not have any confirmation down at County Road 120. It has, if you've seen the maps that the state presented at the state meeting, and I understand many of you were here at the state meeting, it has been pretty well delineated, and I have every reason to believe that the state information is correct. We've confirmed most of their test results with our own independent testing, that we understand where it is on the west. And that told us two things. That told us with confidence that we can start to let those people know that their water supply, as it's concerned with the chromium-6 and the chromium-6 pollution, there may be other problems over there, but we're looking at chromium-6 pollution. We had started doing TPH, total petroleum hydrocarbon testing, because I expressed to you that I was concerned about the other constituents in the well water. We have not been finding the TPH. The state took a little further, and they've actually been doing total water quality analysis for another reason that I'll share with you later. But also they've been looking at a VOC count, volatile organic compounds, and those would be the solvent chemicals that are used in the oil field industry. Those are all the 55-gallon drums that you see stacked up at the industrial site behind us. Those are a lot of VOC-type compounds. And they actually know where a lot of those have historically come from. Underground storage tanks, the same types of spills. So we know a little bit more about that. And finally, I want to talk to you about a subject that I know will be very, very sensitive to you. I'm introducing all these subjects sort of at the introductory part of this meeting tonight, so that you have an opportunity to sort of think about it. We're going to actually have another speaker tonight, and she's going to share with you. She's been out, she's walked the same beaten paths I've walked around town. She's been door to door in the neighborhood today. She's been up in the industrial area, and we've kind of looked at where we think it's coming from together. And so she's going to speak, but I want you to think about this. Did my battery go? There it's back. Magic. Anyway, one of the things that we're going to want to think about, and I've kind of been feeling the neighborhood out, but I want everyone's input because this is your decision, not mine. And that is, the filters are a temporary fix. Well, they're a temporary Band-Aid. The state's not representing that they're anything more. I think they've been very, very honest with you in saying that they're putting these filters on to stop the chromium-6 from coming into your house, to make your water more safe, not safe, more safe than it is now coming out of the wells. And they've been experiencing problems with the filters, and I'll go into more detail about that later. But they are a Band-Aid. They are a temporary fix. They are a temporary fix that may last a year, but they are a temporary fix. You're going to need another source of supply. Your aquifer is contaminated permanently. Permanently. Your grandkids will probably not be able to clean this chemical up. And the 100 level standard that you've all heard everybody talk about, that's for chromium, total chromium. That's 100 parts per billion. I guarantee we will all see, everyone in this room, that standard lowered and separated out. You will see a total chrome standard established by federal EPA that they will make Texas adopt. And you will see a Chrome 6 standard, something we've never had before. A specific Chromium 6 standard will come out. And I'm going to represent to you that it is my belief it will be 1 part per billion or less. I've seen the data that's been released within the last 90 days in Congress. The United States Congress is involved in investigating this chemical right now. And their doctors, their toxicologists, and their water scientists are talking about a number less than 1. Okay, so if you can imagine, we're talking about a number less than 1, we're really going to be looking hard at the yellow dots on the state map. Just because they're under 100 doesn't mean you have not been contaminated. It means you know, I'm not the state TEQ. I'm here to tell you that 100 is dangerous. 100 will harm you. Just because you're under MCL, you still, from my perspective, need to be concerned. The Congress of the United States is concerned for you at 100. Other states have adopted lower levels on total chromium. No state has adopted a Chrome 6 standard, but it is imminent. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about, and what I want you thinking about before I ask Erin to come up and Erin talk to you, and think about it hard, because we're going to come to a conclusion tonight, because I've got to move and I've got to move fast. And that is, you're going to need to think about being on city water. And I have spoken with officials at the city of Midland, and they've been very kind and they've been very helpful. And they understand what's going on down here. They have extremely limited water resources themselves. It will take political action. It will take permission from the elected body there. I do not have that. But we will have to make that appeal, and we'll have to work through TEQ or TCQ and get that permission. City water is not the only answer. I also spoke with your county commissioner today, and the county is investigating beginning a county water system. That's a more difficult approach. I will represent to you that is a much more difficult approach. The county does not, or the county is not in the business of owning and operating a water utility. The city is. The city of Midland's water comes from surface water lakes 100 miles away. It is not local oil-filled groundwater. They do supplement the surface water with groundwater wells that come from about 30 miles north of here on University of Texas property. But they're preserved agricultural lands. The water quality is of a superior quality of what you'd find out on the oil fields. They purchase that water from the University of Texas, and it is pumped into the city. So those are the two sources of supply, so that you don't think that they're local groundwater and that they would be associated with any problems. If the county were to develop its own drinking water system, they could do one of two things. They could initially build the infrastructure and purchase wholesale water from the city of Midland's surface water supply and its groundwater supply, and supply its county waterworks system on a wholesale purchase. Then you would be separate from the city system, and you wouldn't be subject to the, people are saying the 1.5 times the water rate if you're out of the city and things like that. The county would buy the water on a wholesale basis from the city, and you could set that up. What I've also thought about encouraging the county to do is, rather than have all these home filtration systems, if they develop a water system and they go down and sink a true municipal groundwater well and treat it properly using advanced treatment techniques that are available, they could actually get a water quality equal to or superior to city water at that municipal drinking water treatment plant, and then provide you water. It's your decision to make, and yours alone. But those are the only two options that we have available to even discuss.